If you would like to know exactly what to say in every single sales conversation that you ever do in your entire life, forever and ever and ever, amen, this is for you. And I have my own audience here. Can y'all just say, hey? These are also sales girls. We're the sales girls. These are sales girls who are also in business. And I just asked them, I'm like, hey, how do y'all feel about selling and sales conversations that drain you? And Megan right here, she said, it's not the call, it's like the nervousness approaching the call and hoping that I say the right thing and hoping that it lands just right and that it all goes smoothly and that people actually want to buy. And there's a way to not only, hear me when I say this, look forward to the sales conversation, but actually get energy from it. Like, what if you could walk away from a sales conversation with more energy than you had than even anticipating it or even having it before? That is possible with this formula. Does that excite you guys to hear about that? Okay, so I am going to start by just kind of reminding you, because I think we all intuitively know this. Can I have that black marker right there? Yes, thank you. That what we're kind of like here to do and what we're made to do is to do three things. How many things? Three. We're made to connect, create, and contribute. Okay, I gotta know, how many of you have ever said I want to like contribute to people's lives? Have you all ever said that? Yes, you have. And I think as women specifically, we have this urge to do that because we're like nurturing, right? We want to just love on our people and love on them and encourage them and advise them. Y'all, I have triplet sister-in-laws. Yes, triplet 20-year-old sister-in-laws. And they're making some really big decisions right now as 20-year-olds. Like, should I be a doctor? Should I move to California? Should I and I'm just watching them make these life decisions. And I know that you can't just tell people what to do. You can't just like advise people. But I like want to tell them what to do so bad. I feel like they could be like jumping off a cliff and I'm trying to save them. You know what I mean? But the thing about advising is oftentimes you tell the okay, I know I keep talking about my 3-year-old, but I've noticed that when I tell him to eat his green beans, he doesn't eat them. But when I say, don't you eat those green beans? Don't you eat those green beans? Next thing I know, I turn around, he's got a fistful in his mouth and thinks it's so funny. It's like you tell them what you want them to do, and they're like a boomerang. They're like, "Skrr, that's exactly what I'm not going to do." LOL. But when you persuade, like persuading is advising to completion. Per means through to completion. Swayed means to advise. So there's a way to offer advice, but in a way that guides someone that they decide to do it on their own. Okay, and so we want to contribute so badly that we try to bypass this persuade and go straight to advice, straight to give value, straight to offer, straight to telling you what to do. And we're trying to contribute. So the best way to kind of hit that road really quick is we move up to go to this create mode. We go to create right away, so that we can contribute. And it makes sense. So even just in this room, I kind of asked them, like, what is everybody working on? What are you thinking about? And some people are like, oh, I'm thinking about what to create. Like I'm trying to decide, what do I create for a course? What do I create for a program? What do I create? How do I create this price? Like, what do I create? That is the go to create offers. I think we talked about creating offers, right? Like, how do I create this offer so that I can contribute? It makes so much sense. It's like the fast track. Like, hello, who loves to drive on the, we live in Georgia. It's like the old Peachtree Peach Pass. You're like, choo choo, bye. It feels like you just get to skip everything and go straight to contribute, right? Can I tell you the problem? I want you guys to create things, by the way. We just had another session on how to have a 2-hour creation period. So I'm all about creating. The problem is when you go to your creation cave is you think about these writers who are like in the dark. They're like, I need to go on a writing retreat. And they go into like the woods and the cabin and they're just like by themselves creating. And there's a time for that. In fact, I think I told somebody, I'm like, I think I understand why people go on writing retreats, because you like need a moment. But when you spend so much time creating the thing that you can contribute, you end up falling in love with the thing that you created. And what do you do when you love something? You talk about it. You talk about it. You talk about the thing that you created. So before I had kids, I worked with a ton of moms. And I was like the new college girly, coming out of school, and everybody had kids except for me. And so I would just listen to them talk. Literally, y'all, the way they would come into the office to show me pictures of their kids in pajamas for pajama day, and like the way I had to act like I cared. Y'all know what I'm talking about, okay? Like, I love kids. I love you. I love y'all. But, like, look, actually, let me show you my kid and his. You know what? Here, let me just show you this. This is my son, and this is her. You don't care, do you? I know you don't care. I don't want you to care. Like, this is human nature, is that we just don't care about what other things people have created. You care, but I don't care. I do care, but most people. So let's think about this, okay? What do people care about? Themselves. Themselves. So when you go into creation mode, you're like creating your child. And you're like, look at my baby, look what I created. But people are like, but what about me? But how does that affect me in my life? Okay. So this is why we got to back it on up. Everyone say, back it up. We got to back it up to, we got to connect first. And I know it feels like this is going to take some time. I'm trying to put my offer out into the world. I'm trying to get people to, help people. I'm trying to contribute. I don't have time for this. Baby, you don't have time not to do this. This is the peach pass right here. This is the choo-choo. Because when you connect, you can hit the nail on the head and know exactly what to create and contribute. Now, I want to talk really quickly about this create, because I honestly don't even want you to create more offers. I actually just want to help you create the message in which you share about your offer. Like, what if you never had to change your offer? You just changed the packaging of it. How much easier would that be? Can I get an amen? Anyone who has created an offer, you know that it is not for the whatever they say. What's that saying? Faint of heart. It's not. It's challenging. And so when you create something that you think nobody likes, and you feel like you got to recreate and recreate. Oh my gosh! Like, what if you just repackaged it from connecting? So can I show you a little framework to help you do that really easily? Okay, cool. So the framework to connect, this is the connection framework, is to listen, learn, return. Repeat it after me. Listen, learn, return. All right, so let's talk about listening. I know you think you know how to listen. I know you do. It feels like you do. Listening is all about listening to what is not really being said. I used to help people in their health and fitness, and anytime I would ask someone what they would typically eat, they would always tell me chicken, veggies, salad, and water. They always told me like what they wanted me to think about them. Because people want to say, I've tried everything and nothing works. I'm an anomaly. Like, let me prove it to you. I work out, I do all these things perfectly and still I don't have the results. But the more you kind of tease it out and hear them talk a little bit more, you kind of got to see what's underneath the hood. So when people start talking to you, you think they're telling you what they're wanting to say, but they're really telling you how they want you to see them. Okay? And I don't know if you've ever been in a conversation where it feels like they're going left field. You're like, we're supposed to be talking about clothing and you're telling me about chickens right now. What is going on? Anybody else feel that way? And you're like, wait, that's not part of the conversation. I'm trying to get this back on track. And so what most people end up doing is they're like, let me just tell you about the offer so that I can take control of the conversation here. You feel like you're losing control because they're going left and right and up and down, when really, y'all, those are the ingredients to your packaging. Those are the ingredients to your message. Has anyone watched Chopped before? They're like, dun, 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 dun. It's like all these chefs, and they're like, open your baskets, chef. And then it's like orange juice and dog food and lettuce and all these crazy ingredients. And they're like, make a perfect meal. Go. That is kind of the situation. You're the chef, and they're giving you all these ingredients, and you're like, how do these go together? That's the Sales Girl software, as we say, is how do you take those ingredients, put them in your mind, be the chef, and come out with a perfect meal. So let's say you're talking to somebody, okay, and someone is like, oh, I just have always dreamed of having chickens and a farm and this dream house of mine. And I just feel like my family would just be so much happier. My kids, they're just so stuck on their screens all the time. And I just feel like if we had like a farm, then they would actually have stuff to do instead of being on their phone. And they just don't ever listen to me. They don't even get up in the morning. Like we're supposed to leave at 8 a.m. and they don't even roll out of bed until 7:55 and we're always late. And you're like, I'm selling a shirt. What is going on here? Y'all, this is actually amazing information. Would you believe that? Repeat after me or write this down, one or the other. The person that's in control is the one listening. It feels like you're in control when you're talking, doesn't it? Let me show you the way. Come over here. No. Like, I'm telling you, when someone else is telling you everything, that means you have the ingredients to know where to take the conversation. Okay, so let's just play that back. She said chickens. She said farm. She said kids don't listen. She said they don't get out of the house on time. Is there a way to like package a shirt into that, make that the meal as those ingredients? Maybe, might be possible. We've got to learn to find out. So what does it mean to learn? We got to clarify, ask clarifying questions. What type of questions? I want y'all to know, I know you think that we all live with the same dictionary in our head. We don't. All of us have different meanings for all the words that we say, okay? So when someone says, like, my kids don't listen, like, that could mean, I could say that about one scenario, and you could say, oh, they like totally obeyed. They just didn't respond, but they listened. You know what I'm saying? So, I think a lot of people, when they think about a sales conversation, they want to ask, what is your problem? What have you tried? If you could do this, then what would happen? Like, you ask these almost robotic type questions to get the right answers. I don't want you to ask right questions. I want you to ask relevant questions. Relevant to what? What they've already said. Relevant to them. Okay? So let's just say she said, my kids don't listen to me. They don't get out on time. Now, what's important here about clarifying questions is you don't really want to ask clarifying questions about other people. You kind of want to ask them about the person that's talking to you. So I could ask something like you can't, the rule of thumb is like you can't coach someone that's not in the room. You can't sell the person that's not in the room. Like I can't sell the husband that's not on the conversation with me right now, but I can talk to you about talking to your husband. Does that make sense? So I might ask questions like, tell me exactly what you mean when you say that they don't listen. What are you saying to them? And what is the result that you're trying to get them? And like, y'all, what if she says that, they don't get out of the house on time. Okay. What if I ask a question like, well, tell me, like, what time do you get up? She's like, they get up at 7:50. Said, well, what time do you get up? What are you doing when you get up? She said, well, I get ready. Oh, okay, cool. What are you getting ready for? Well, I'm trying to get ready for work, and then I got to pick up the kids, and then I got to take them to practice, and I got to do all these things. And so I'm trying to okay, so you kind of got a lot going on, potentially. There may be a way, I don't know, there might be a way that we can kind of lower that decision fatigue and offer like a way of getting ready that makes it really easy and fast so that you can be an example of what's possible for your kids. Do you see how a shirt could fit in there? We don't need to go create a time management program, friends. I know that it feels like, oh, I can just make something for her. What if we could just repackage what we already have and slip it right into what she already needs? So that goes back. Now we go down to return. So we've done listen. Everyone understands listen. Say yes. Everyone understands learn. Now we're going to return. We're going to return one thing. How many things are we going to return? How many? Like, I cannot tell you how many times I'll be in a sales conversation and I'm like, I can help you with that. 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 And you want to tell them all the ways that you can help them. Anybody else feel that way? Everyone, shut your mouth. Say, shut my mouth. No one cares about everything in my mind. They only care about themselves. And I'm going to tell them the one thing that's going to help themselves. Okay, so we're going to turn one thing at a time. You might need a couple things, but you might hit it right on the head and be done with it and you walk away. Because the goal is not to deliver a sales presentation. The goal is to get the sale. You're like, no, please put your credit card away. I'm not done. No, please. Let me finish my presentation that I've worked so hard on. You can pay me later. You've lost it, okay? So the goal is to get them to buy, not to show them how good you are, okay? So when you're listening and you're learning, I want you to think, okay, what would be like the one thing? The one thing that I could deliver back to them that would help them be like, boom, that part right there. Okay, so if we are selling a shirt, so here's them. They're talking. You are the sales girl right here. We've got to put your pony on. You're the sales girl, and it's going in. This is your computer. This is your sales girl software. It's going into your sales girl software, and I want you to think about one single message, one just few liners that you can return right back to them to help them reframe. So it might sound a little something like this. Susie, this shirt is made of 40% cotton, which is going to be a really structured material that's also really versatile. I know that you are feeling like you're trying to get all this stuff under control early in the morning and you just want your kids to follow suit. What if you could have a shirt that you know you're comfortable in, that represents you well and transitions you all throughout the activities in the day so that you can be on time waiting for them? Because if you want someone to follow you, you go first. Do you think that would help you in your morning routine with your kids? Well, we have this shirt in blue, red, and pink. Perfect for you to have multiple options for the week, and you can, start the morning off strong. Just return that one thing. Now, she might say, well, I have big meetings, and well, I have this, and we'll have this. That's fine. We'll handle those later, but we're going to deliver one at a time and wait to then, guess what? You just head right back up here. You just listen all over again. Because guess what? They're probably going to tell you some more stuff that they didn't want to tell you before. My dad's always said buyers are liars. Not on purpose. They just want to be perceived. They want to be perceived noble and special and have a lot of status. And they want to be perceived a certain way. So they're going to be a little lie. Buyers are liars to show you. So it's cool. We're just peeling down the layers so that we keep listening, learning, returning. Listening, learning, returning. And here's the best part. You barely talk about the offer. That thing that you created so much and you love so much and you just want to talk about all the features because it's just so sweet and beautiful, like your little baby, you barely even talk about it. You talk about her kids being on time. You talk about having a house full of energy and a bright morning. You talk about your kids actually like being excited to wake up because they know they have a mom that's excited to see them. You talk about having the shirt that you can handle the chickens with. Like you don't even talk about this, you talk about this. So they deliver the content to you. What? And here's the best part. When you connect, like this is true connection. You know that, right? This is true connection, and connection will give you energy. And that's how a sales call becomes not only fun and exciting, but fuels your spirit, your momentum, and the next conversation and the next piece of content that you create.